They warned us about Noah Brown, and at first we laughed it off. Back then, the idea seemed more like idle talk than a real concern. Yet now, those early warnings almost feel like prophecies we refuse to acknowledge. Alaskan bush people drew millions of viewers into the rugged, unpredictable world of the Brown family, where every storm, hunt, and wildfire tested their ability to survive. Within that world, Noah was seen as the quiet genius, the inventive problem solver who could create tools and solutions from scraps of metal and wood. Fans believed he was the one who would always keep out of trouble, the member who carried a steady calm. But even from the start, whispers followed him. Speculations floated among viewers, and while they once sounded like baseless gossip, they now ring with a haunting truth. Were those suspicions something we simply refused to face? Looking back at the Brown family's long list of controversies provides clarity and perhaps reveals why. Noah is now at the center of his own. The Discovery Channel reality series Alaskan, Bush People, premiered in 2014. It's instantly captivating audiences with its portrayal of a family living apart from modern society. The Browns' choices, struggles, and survival tactics fascinated viewers, yet also sparked ongoing debates. Some people questioned the accuracy of what they saw on screen. Was the family truly living in isolation, or was it simply a staged version of wilderness survival? Their handling of scandals, both private and public, kept them in headlines. Claims of staged scenes, disputes over authenticity, and a string of legal troubles only fueled the skepticism. For anyone wanting to understand why this series has remained controversial, it's necessary to revisit the family's most talked-about decisions, moments of conflict, and legal entanglements. In 2014, several members of the Brown family faced their first major scandal. Billy Brown and his son Joshua Bam Bam Brown, along with others, were charged with fraud connected to Alaska's Permanent Fund Dividend Program. They were accused of falsely claiming residency in Alaska, while actually living elsewhere. The court found that they had wrongfully received thousands of dollars in state benefits. Both Billy and Joshua pled guilty to second-degree unsworn falsification. Each was sentenced to 30 days in jail and required to perform community service. This incident raised serious doubts about how much time the family actually spent in Alaska, and whether the bush life seen on television reflected reality or fabrication. Legal troubles didn't stop there. In 2020, Alaska Wilderness Family Productions and Robert Mon filed a lawsuit against Billy Brown and the show's production company. The claims included breach of contract and disputes over profits from Alaskan bush people. Mon alleged he was not given his rightful share of earnings and intellectual property payments. Records showed the dispute involved over $500,000. Like many legal battles in reality television, this one raised concerns about transparency and trust behind the scenes. The case highlighted the murky financial side of reality TV, though many details were eventually buried in private settlements. Then, in March 2022, another scandal erupted. Bear Brown, one of the sons, faced legal trouble involving his former partner, Raven Adams. She filed for a restraining order, citing threats and unstable behavior. Bear was temporarily detained, and the matter became widely reported in the press. It reignited debates about how the family behaved off-camera, away from their rugged TV persona. Records show that some of these disputes remain unresolved and highly sensitive. Beyond the legal troubles, the family's inner conflicts often spilled into public view. Tensions grew from sibling rivalries, clashes over parenting styles, and the pressures of living both on and off the camera. Fans saw emotionally outbursts, disputes over responsibilities, and disagreements about the family's future. Some children grew frustrated with their roles and the expectations placed upon them, especially as they matured and considered different paths in life. Social media posts and interviews sometimes revealed these fractures, hinting at deeper rifts than the show was willing to admit. Matt Brown, the eldest son, faced one of the most serious challenges when he struggled with alcohol addiction. In 2016, he left the show to enter rehabilitation. While the program gave only vague explanations about his absence, public reports made clear the seriousness of his condition. His recovery journey, complicated family relationships, and moments of isolation became widely discussed topics. Struggles added a layer of tragedy to the Browns' story and marked one of the family's darkest periods. Clashes with the Discovery Channel. Production crew also played a significant role in shaping the family's controversies. Accounts from insiders revealed ongoing arguments over staged scenes, privacy concerns, and how much control the Browns had over their storylines. As the series gained popularity, pressure grew to craft more dramatic narratives, leading to questions about whether the show blurred the line between truth and entertainment. Critics often pointed out inconsistencies in the family's supposed isolation. Locals claimed they saw the Browns shopping in stores, attending public events, and staying in hotels or lodges such as the Icy Strait Lodge. Reports suggested that Browntown, their famous homestead, was constructed with outside help. While the show portrayed them as cut off from society, evidence suggested they had more contact with modern life than viewers were led to believe. Health struggles also shaped the family's story. Billy Brown was diagnosed with lung cancer, and the series documented his fight and eventual passing in 2021. His illness was deeply personal, yet it became a central storyline. Reactions were mixed. Some viewers sympathized, while others questioned whether such private suffering should be broadcast. Billy's death marked a turning point in both the show and the family's future. Meanwhile, accidents and dangerous incidents became recurring storylines. Explosions, injuries, and near-death moments were shown on screen. But skeptics wondered whether these events were exaggerated or if safety measures had been neglected. Critics accused the show of dramatizing risks for entertainment value. In 2017, when Amy Brown was diagnosed with lung cancer, the family moved from Alaska to Washington so she could receive treatment at UCLA Medical Center. This shift away from Alaska undermined the show's central claim of an off-grid wilderness life. Their relocation to Washington further fueled doubts about the authenticity of their lifestyle. Amid all these upheavals, Noah Brown's story stands out. Known as the inventive, thoughtful member of the family, Noah was the one who seemed least likely to stir controversy. Yet his quiet departure from the homestead revealed a deeper search for independence. Noah's journey away from the family began around 2019 when he moved to Colorado. This decision was partly driven by a need for personal space and relief from the crowded family dynamic. Reports suggest that after being asked to leave the main family property, he spent time living in a guest cabin. This separation gave him room to reflect on his future and identity beyond the group. In 2020, disaster struck when a wildfire ravaged the Browns' Washington ranch, destroying homes and belongings they had built over years. The destruction highlighted the fragility of their lifestyle and left Noah determined to rebuild stability for himself and his family. He temporarily moved into a rented home while planning his next steps. The following year, Billy Brown's death reshaped the family dynamic. As the family patriarch, Billy had been the guiding force behind their lifestyle. His passing left an emotional void and sparked changes in sibling relationships. For Noah, it became both a source of grief and a push toward building a new chapter one that honored his father's values while allowing him to forge his own path. By 2023, Noah made a surprising choice. He returned to Alaska. Unlike before, this time, it was not for the show or family obligations, but for himself. He longed for the self-reliant lifestyle of his childhood and wanted to rebuild it on his own terms. Back in Alaska, he pursued his love of invention and mechanics in a space where he could work independently. His decision also allowed him to step away from family conflicts and controversies that had surrounded the Browns for years. Throughout the show, Noah had shown signs of independence, whether searching for properties or making crucial decisions during storms. He frequently lent his skills to help other families, proving he could balance community service with his own ambitions. His departure from the homestead wasn't a rejection of his past, but a natural progression. Ultimately, Noah Brown's journey was shaped by both external hardships, wildfires, legal battles, his father's death, and internal desires for independence and stability. From his time in Colorado to his return to Alaska in 2023, his path reflects a man striving to balance the legacy of the Browns with a future of his own making. By choosing to leave, he was not rejecting his upbringing, but instead continuing to live by the values he had been taught, just in a way that better suited the life he wanted for himself. His decision highlighted how family bonds can shift and evolve over time, how sometimes finding one's own path is actually a way of keeping those ties alive rather than letting them fade. Yet, stepping away from the homestead was not the only challenge he faced. Noah Brown also dealt with deep conflicts with his sibling that escalated into legal matters, creating a kind of painful sibling rivalry that would follow the family into courtrooms and headlines. On August 5th, 2024, Noah Brown and his wife, Rain Brown, whose maiden name is Alicia, filed a petition seeking an order of protection against Noah's sister, Merry Christmas, Catherine Raindrop Rain Brown. According to the U.S. Sun, the couple claimed they needed protection from what they described as unlawful harassment. Their accusations were serious, stating that Rain had been stalking them and making threats of violence, even intentional threats involving a firearm or other weapons. They said this caused them substantial emotional distress. In official court documents, Noah detailed several disturbing incidents involving his sister. He alleged that in July 2022, Rain had told him, "My life would be so much easier if you were dead, if only I had not gotten caught. I think that my gun is in my room." Noah also described another troubling situation in May 2023 when he was helping the family transport horses to their North Star Ranch. He said that one of the horses appeared malnourished, and because Rain and their sister Snowbird refused to follow his advice about proper transportation, one horse collapsed inside the trailer and could not get up on its own. When Noah tried to explain what needed to be done to help, Rain allegedly told him to stop, saying she would rather see the horse die than listen to him. She then threatened to retrieve her gun if he did not wait in his truck. According to Noah, he did as she demanded, and later found out that the horse had died the following day. Noah's allegations did not stop there. He also claimed that Rain was abusing substances, accusing her of using cocaine, methamphetamine, and alcohol. In one shocking allegation, he said that in December 2023, Rain even offered their mother, Amy Brown, cocaine as a supposed remedy for headaches or migraines. In their legal petition, Noah and his wife asked the court to take several steps for their safety. They wanted Rain forced to surrender all firearms, barred from obtaining new weapons, and prohibited from contacting them in any way, whether directly, indirectly, or through other people. They also requested that she stay at least 1,000 feet away from them, and that she be prevented from posting anything negative about them online. Rain did not submit a formal legal response, but did address the matter publicly in December 2024. According to Soap Opera Spy, she posted a video to Instagram which she later deleted where she spoke about the accusations. In the video, Rain said, "Honestly, his little sister who struggles with mental health and suicidal thoughts should be the last person he would attack. Have a great day, everyone. And remember, do not let anybody make you feel worthless because God and Jesus think you are perfect. I only pray he heals from whatever is making him lash out. Sorry you do not like me anymore, Noah. Merry Christmas." In September 2024, Noah's request for a restraining order was officially denied. Touch confirmed through online court records that the petition was rejected due to insufficient information. The court noted that the declaration Noah had submitted was essentially blank, except for references to a C declaration of Noah Brown. Furthermore, the court determined that the alleged incidents happened too far in the past to justify granting a temporary restraining order without notifying Rain. The ruling stated that if Noah resubmitted the petition without correcting these problems, the outcome would remain the same. There was no indication that either Noah or Rain pursued the petition further. However, in the early months of 2025, the sibling saga returned to the spotlight. Noah Brown, known from Alaskan bush people, contacted police to request a welfare check on his mother, Amy Brown, and his sister, Rain. He accused them of using methamphetamine just days before Rain herself was arrested for burglary. According to court records cited by the U.S. Sun on Monday, April 28, 2025, Noah told authorities that Amy was staying with Rain and Rain's boyfriend, Josiah Lorton, at a cabin in Liar's Cove, after receiving what he described as a disjointed message from his mother the night before. Noah said he heard she had been drinking heavily and was now using meth supplied by Rain and Josiah. Police conducted the welfare check on April 7th. Noah reported that his 61-year-old mother was no longer taking her prescribed medications and that her condition was worsening. In Touch had earlier revealed that Amy was airlifted to a hospital on February 13th and diagnosed with pneumonia. Court documents further claimed that Rain was preventing her mother from taking her medicine and that Josiah, despite being prohibited from possessing firearms, had access to guns. On April 8th, officers informed Noah that they could not locate his mother but believed she was with Rain and Josiah. Noah told authorities that Rain often refused to take her own medication and believed anyone encouraging her to do so was working against her. He also warned police that Josiah was always armed. On top of this, Noah said Rain had once taken a pistol from him. He chose not to report it as stolen but asked officers to use caution when approaching her. Just days later, on April 11, 2025, Rain and her husband Josiah were arrested and charged with first-degree burglary and first-degree malicious mischief. In Touch confirmed that Rain, a Discovery Channel alum, was also charged with second-degree criminal trespass. The couple was booked into Okanogan County Jail in Washington and later released without bail on April 14, 2025. At first, details about what led to their arrest were scarce. But on May 2, 2025, In Touch confirmed through court documents that Rain and Josiah had been accused of stealing $75,000 in cash, guns, and other possessions from Josiah's uncle, Jason Aort. Both Rain and Josiah pleaded not guilty when they appeared in court via Zoom.
Oh.
On April 28, 2025, they were scheduled to return to court again in May. Around this same time, on April 19, 2025, Rain posted on Instagram. Although she didn't directly mention the burglary case, she shared a Bible verse, "Judge not, lest ye be judged. For with what judgment ye judged, ye shall be judged." In her caption, she expressed how painful it was to see supporters believe what she called lies spread by her former manager, whom she accused of stealing $43,000 and mistreating her. She asked her fans to wait for her side of the story and ended the post with, "God bless y'all." Amid all these escalating legal troubles with his sister, Noah himself was facing heartbreak in his personal life. Though Noah Brown was often private about family matters, viewers of Alaskan bush people came to know him as the inventive mad scientist of the Brown family, frequently tinkering with gadgets and earning comparisons to Dr. Frankenstein Manus the monster. When the series began, many wondered how the Brown children would find life partners in such a remote lifestyle. Noah, however, was always hopeful and deeply romantic. Never losing faith in the idea of love, he met Ruth Alicia Marilater. Known as Rain Alishwile, the Browns still lived in Alaska. Their relationship began with letters, and eventually Alicia visited Browntown. The two married in 2018 in a small ceremony with only about 25 guests, mostly family and close friends. At the time, Noah told People magazine that he and Alicia were excited to start their life together as husband and wife, expressing gratitude for the love and support they had received. But acceptance within the Brown family was not smooth. Noah's sisters, Bird Brown and Rain Brown, were not especially welcoming toward his new wife. Some did not like that Alicia took on the name Rain after moving to the mountain. Growing up in Oregon, she was seen as an outsider by some members of the family. Noah had always shared a close bond with Bird, but the relationship between his sister and his wife was uneasy. Hoping to heal tensions, Noah made Bird the godmother of his son, Eli Brown. In 2019, Noah and Rain made the choice to leave the homestead and settle in Colorado. Despite their move, recent news revealed that the couple has now decided to take time apart. In an emotional Instagram announcement, Noah and Rain explained that after 6 years of marriage, they had mutually agreed to separate. Sitting together during the announcement, Noah shared that he had been asked to move out and was now living in their guest cabin. He emphasized that he could still see their two sons, Eli and Adam, as long as he messaged beforehand to make sure. It was okay, Rain added her perspective, saying that sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. She recalled times when Noah had returned to Alaska and said there was still much for them to work through. Importantly, she noted that they were not there to attack one another, but to handle the situation together. Rain believed Noah was healthier, now with his own space and routine free from her stress, while she herself felt better being able to manage the household tasks independently. She pointed out that Noah still spent plenty of time with the children, even during their separation.